What will the future of real estate look like? Is conventional real estate dying? Join us while we dive into conversations to explore that very question and attempt to demystify current and potentially new real estate trends with the disruptors themselves. All right. Hello. Good afternoon. I'm not going to lie, you're my first afternoon interview. I normally do them in the morning when I'm hopped up on all the coffee.
You're a morning person. Yeah.
I'm a morning person, but thank you so much, Tage. I'm so happy that you're taking time to speak with us. And I'm really stoked to hear some more about your company.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Amy, for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of like what led you? Who are you? Where are you from? And how did you get here?
Sure. So I am a co-founder of a startup, Calgary-based startup called Door Insight. And what we do is we're a real estate data analytics platform. Pretty much we help you find the right property, right neighborhood, do market research, just all things related to data and analytics for real estate. And we try to do it across Canada as well. So that's that's kind of my position right now.
Awesome. That's it's super cool because I know a lot of folks in real estate who, when you talk to them about data, I'm sure it's like glossy eyes. Like some might be quite good with Excel and others with just interpreting market based on feel and experience. But being able to provide any sort of automation or making it a bit streamlined, this is a very welcomed platform that I'm sure lots of people are going to love.
Yeah, definitely. Like for us, it's we have a bunch of tools that we've put together, really to be able to find the right neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So narrow it down. We have neighborhood maps to help you find where to purchase in, as well as you can analyze deals, like if it makes sense
Mm-hmm.
financially. And we have like a very popular rent estimator as well on our
Oh my
site.
gosh. I think that would be so popular right now in Calgary. As you know, rent has gone up like 30-40% in the
Oh yeah.
last couple of years, mostly due to the pandemic and a shortage and, interest rates. There's a lot of variables there, but something like that is, I'm sure lots of people would use that, utilize it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
okay, so help me understand and help us walk through. You're from Toronto. You moved to Calgary. I know you spent time in IT, but primarily in oil and gas, which we all know Calgary is known for. But now you've branched out and you're in the startup and this really cool ecosystem that's super fluid. How does that happen?
Yeah, so I actually moved out here back in 2015 to Calgary. Kind of wanted to switch up my career a little bit. So I was previously in IT, and then I went back to school, did a GIS degree, and then I got a role at an oil and gas company for about 18 months there. And at that point, I got a project to kind of create a search engine for maps for
Okay.
within that company. From there, I really kind of delved into the coding world and software development world. And the back of my head, I was always thinking I could eventually turn these skills into a potential business. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was always thinking along those lines. And that's why I went into the more software development route.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, yeah, in terms of getting into the startup community, it's kind of always what I wanted to do was start a business. But for Door Insight specifically, me and my co-founder Harbin, we had the idea for Door Insight just because I was looking for a home in Calgary, try to purchase my first home, and he was looking for an investment property out in Toronto, and we both had the same kind of problem, which was just finding the right information, finding which neighborhood to purchase in. It was just such a very scattered experience, just going on different websites, trying to find the right information on where to buy, what's a safe neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we just thought, we could build something that puts all that stuff together and just makes it a lot easier for people.
And does he have a tech background as well, or just share the same pain points? Was like, oh my gosh, there needs to be a better way.
No, he does too. He's a software developer, and so
Okay.
he's definitely pretty strong on the coding part. So
Yeah.
yeah, we both had that technical background, and so we figured like we could actually do it ourselves, put
Hmm.
together ourselves. So that's kind of what started it.
And is he still back in Ontario? Because they're having a totally different challenging market compared to what I'm sure you're seeing here in Calgary in Alberta.
Yeah, no, he's based out of Ontario. And yeah, of course they've had their huge swings, their ups and
Mhm.
downs there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good because you're both probably going to bring in like different perspectives and know what's happening in different markets. Um, Based on the current users, do you have areas that Door Insights is gaining more and more popularity, or is it kind of scattered about Canada fairly equally?
I mean, of course, it's like the large markets always have a big portion of it. So
Early
Ontario,
adopters, yeah.
yeah, I mean, Southern Ontario, it's like the largest market in Canada, right? So you have a
Mhm,
lot of people from there. We did a lot of our maps focused on Alberta as well. So initially we had some Alberta, we have a lot of Alberta people, and then of course we have like BC people as well. So it's pretty scattered across the country.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
who would be a good demographic or a good target for Door Insights? Like, who are the users that would typically access these services?
So for us, we try to have we actually have like a newsletter that just puts out market insights. So what's going
Oh,
on in the real estate market at the time. We have that. And so if you really basically if you're a real estate professional, I think it's great for that. But even if you're just a first-time home buyer, I think it's super useful. Some of our tools is to narrow down which neighborhood you'd like to
mhm,
purchase in. And then again, I'd say investors are a big portion of um, our user group. We have a lot of people coming in who want to just analyze which property they should purchase based on the numbers. So they come to our site, run the numbers on rent, run the numbers, and try to find out if they're in the right neighborhoods. And yeah, we have a pretty varied user group for sure.
mhm. Lots of use cases there. Hey. And then how did
Yeah.
you work on, did you connect with a bunch of people in different markets to kind of see, well, this is a safe neighborhood, or probably analyzing crime stats, I guess, is
Yeah,
probably
so
what you did there.
that's
Yeah.
actually we do have some crime data on our site right now, but we're revamping that completely and trying to bring across all the crime numbers across Canada. And so right now, if you wanted to find that information, you'd have to go to individual
Mhm.
police websites and look on their maps, which are kind of a pain and they're not very user intuitive. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to make that a lot better experience,
Mhm.
really improve on that. And so um, yeah, once you go to our site, we'll have that up soon where you could just basically find out. We're gonna have like heat maps of crime in different cities across Canada.
That's going to be so helpful, especially for those who are migrating from one part of the country to the other and are super unfamiliar and don't know where to start and maybe don't have a trusted advisor that they can reach out to. So I can see that being very helpful, especially people with families.
Yeah, people with families, a lot of new immigrants as well.
Mhm,
We've seen that where they don't have much idea. They might not know anyone in that city, the new
mhm.
city, and they don't know which area to buy in or which area to rent in. And just having some more information, just it's so much more helpful that way.
I don't think there's anything wrong with more information. Usually you get into
Yeah,
trouble when you don't have enough information.
exactly. Like our overall goal is really to give um, anybody across Canada just more information, more transparency in the real estate world. Because
Mhm.
what we've seen is, there's certain real estate boards that kind of keep a lot of information tight to their chest. So
Yeah.
uh, I think our goal is really to make it just more transparent across Canada for everyone.
That's great. More accessible, more transparent. I don't think there's anything ever wrong with those two values.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you've seen probably a lot in the startup phase and kind of from oil and gas and all your experience with moving into a different one. So what would you say are some of the most important lessons that you would have collected thus far? I'm sure there's still going to be lots more to come, but
In terms of lessons, I'd say, just taking initiative. Like for us, we found a problem and for
mhm,
ourselves, and we basically decided we just take the initiative to try to solve our own itch there.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, I think that's super important. And in terms of trying to start a new venture, I'd say just being scrappy and
Scrappy.
trying, trying to learn as much as possible, try to learn from people who've gone through the
Mhm.
process of starting something new, and just not being afraid of like learning and going after a new problem. So
Yeah, I'm sure being a part of platform has been very helpful as well, right? Like a good ecosystem to kind of lean on and learn from some of their lessons learned, and then pay it forward and be mentor to some other people that are just coming up.
yeah, no, definitely Platform Calgary has been helpful. Just we were part of the Junction program, so it's a
Mhm.
like a pre-accelerator program. And yeah, they gave us a lot of tools. They gave us coaching, which is great. If you're coming in from not that world, then it's all new. And I think
Mhm.
the big thing is you can expand your network within the ecosystem. So other people within the real estate industry, just other people starting new companies, new ventures. It's just great to be able to learn from all those people.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I don't know about you, but I'm a learn to do by doing and speaking with people. So sometimes like I need that outlet or else
Yeah.
the textbook knowledge doesn't necessarily stick.
Yeah, no, exactly, for sure.
Yeah. So you're kind of disrupting the industry. You're going to be pushing things that typically have never been pushed before, i.e., transparency and accessibility to information. Do you see any other sort of emerging trends that you can foresee at this point?
Um,
Um,
yeah, I definitely could see just with the emergence of Chat GPT.
oh my gosh, did you see they passed the bar?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They,
that's wild.
it's an amazing piece of software than the
Hmm.
AI model. So I do see AI really disrupting real estate over
Hmm.
time. Just even the process of finding a home, I think this will help a lot over time.
Hmm.
So the way we have it right now, you go on a listing portal, you have your filters, and you're searching and you're searching to find that right property. I feel like over time that's going to be a lot more streamlined, and you're just going to be talking to a bot and getting that information a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I think it'll help with that. I think it'll help um, with so many things in the real estate world. So I think AI is going to be a big disruptor overall in the real
Hmm.
estate world. And um, another thing I would say is so AI, and then um, uh, yeah, I would say that the listing portals are definitely going to change. Chat GPT, and I could see people trying to sell their homes themselves. I think
Hmm. We have seen
um,
an uptick in that for sure.
I know you guys had Bode as one of
Hmm.
your guests, so
We did.
I think that model is definitely gonna keep continuing to evolve, and
Hmm.
over time, you're gonna see that kind of grip of having to use a realtor change.
Hmm.
So you're gonna have millennials and Gen Z people looking to either purchase their own home or buy their own home, and so I think that will happen over time. At least have the option to do so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I said the same thing to Jeff as well from Boat. They'll probably be like the two-tier model. I think Jeff and I talked about a little bit, and that's highly likely. And AI is disrupting everything,
Hmm.
every industry. I don't think anything is going to come out unscathed from that, which is like awesome. Probably there's going to be some risks and challenges that fall out of that, but um, I agree. AI is it'll be interesting to see even what happens with the potential lawsuit with Chat. um,
Which lawsuit is that?
well, I read online recently that
Mm.
do you remember? Oh gosh, what was that music streaming?
Back
There
in the
was
day,
back
like
in the day, like
Napster.
Napster.
Yeah.
I think they were sued, and they're saying like something similar might happen with Chat,
Oh, because
because
they're using other
eggs
data across.
other mhm.
Yeah.
So whether or not that transpires in anything, who knows? But I'll definitely be sitting on the sidelines watching to see how that shakes out.
Yeah. I think regardless though, like it's gonna be a tsunami of the AI taking over a lot of
Well,
things.
even
Like,
just look at Napster, right? Like that was, let's call it version one.
yeah.
There's been so many iterations now, and now getting music, streaming music is the norm.
Yeah, I
That's how you
agree.
even stream podcasts, you know?
exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Spotify is a huge, like an amazing use case there of
exactly. Yeah. So
making it
it'll be
legal.
cool.
Yeah.
Making it legal, yeah, for sure. No, it's good. I love AI. I love the whole big data thing, all the buzzwords. I love standing in the back trying to keep up as much as I possibly can because it moves so quickly. And once you think you kind of sort of, as a a layperson will say, when it comes to
Yeah,
AI.
I think realtors right now are using it to create their listings, like create the
Hmm.
descriptions in there, and
This is
you
true.
know,
I do know some people doing that.
so it's just
Yeah.
going to continue. I think it's just going to get just more involved in our own day-to-day lives once we start using it more and more. So
Yeah.
that's probably going to be the game changer. It's hard to see exactly how it's going to change though, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, I think there's no doubt that that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to ebb and flow, right? Like there'll be
Yeah,
people at some point they may get pretty upset, but for
yeah,
now, everyone's enjoying making their lives slightly easier.
yeah, exactly, for sure.
So, if you were to give the audience any sort of tips or recommendations around like books or podcasts or maybe free training, or maybe there's somebody looking to create their own startup, what sort of tricks and tips, if you will, or book recommendations would you pass along?
In terms of books, one book that I've gone back to so many times is the Almanac of Naval Ravikant.
I've
It's
never
like,
heard of this
yeah,
one.
no,
Tell
you got to
me.
check it out. It's
Yeah.
it's an amazing. He's got so many great business tidbits in there, and then he has life wisdom in there as well,
Hmm.
on how to just stay happy and yeah, it's a great book. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I will. I'll add that one because I've never heard of that one. And then, you talk to enough people, you start to hear repeat books. So I'm excited to check this one out.
Yeah, no, that one's great.
Yeah.
I've also read recently Unscripted by M.J. DeMarco.
Okay.
It's also another business related book. Just talks about pursuing business, what a good business looks like, good models in terms of business. The other resources on the startup world, like Y Combinator has some great YouTube videos, I would
Okay.
say. I like to follow their stuff. Like
Are you a
even
big
if
YouTuber? Do you like, go on YouTube lots? And
I
because
now have,
everyone's on it. I'm now playing catch up. I don't even know.
so
My
you
kids know how to do YouTube better than I do.
well, I now have YouTube Premium, so I'm watching way too much of it. Yeah, there's no ads. It's so much better.
Oh gosh.
It's a plug for
So
YouTube there.
okay. You're gonna have to pay some sort of fee for that, but no big deal.
No, I mean, yeah, there's just so much good content on there. Like,
Mhm.
you can find pretty much anything. So, but yeah, Y Combinator has great content. So they're pretty much the most famous startup incubator in the world.
Wow.
But they put out content as well, so you don't actually have to be part of those incubators. You still get some good knowledge out of it.
Fantastic. I'll also look into them.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what's next for Door Insights? What's your next big
Um,
milestone or goal, if you will, that you're able to share? Because obviously, you can't share
yeah,
too
no.
much. Yeah.
So we're rolling out some improvements to our maps. So we're going to make it really more cohesive. We're going to add crime data across Canada. That's a goal for us.
Mhm.
So we're going to have that easy accessibility to that. And then yeah, we've rolled out a newsletter, which we put out bi-weekly, and it pretty much has it's a market pulse newsletter. It has insights into what's going on in the Canadian real estate world across Canada. So that's been popular. And um, yeah, what else? I'd say those are kind of the big things for us. And we recently launched a rental API. So our rental data, that's pretty much, we have rental listings across the country, not listings themselves, but we have the
Mhm.
data.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out how much rent costs, what the rent would be in a certain neighborhood, you can
Interesting. So you
quickly
compare
find
like
out.
a two-bedroom apartment in Halifax versus Vancouver or Calgary or
Yeah,
whatever.
you can narrow it down by like a 1 kilometer radius if you want. So you can you
That's
can get
cool.
pretty accurate numbers in there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have an API for that. So and then we also our neighborhoods, we're trying to roll them out into different websites that actually have listings as well. So we're trying to work with businesses, that brokerages and mortgage companies, and kind of have our data rolled up into their sites as well.
That's awesome. That would pair nicely. And again, trying to be collaborative to make it a one-stop shop for the consumer.
Exactly. Yeah, for
No,
sure.
that sounds awesome. So if somebody wants to follow you or Door Insights, are you on any of the socials? Newsletter for one. Everybody sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say the best place is probably just go to doorinsight.com. And you can sign up to the newsletter, like you said, that'd be great. And you can follow us on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at the socials right now. We actually were doing some Twitter stuff right now too. So
Okay. The
getting a
Twitter.
little more active on there, but
Yeah. Did you join pre or post Elon taking over?
I mean, it just worked out with the timing that it was post Elon, but it wasn't because of
I'm
Elon.
just joking. You don't have to answer that. I like following him. He's a character.
Yeah, definitely. He's been changing up a lot of things.
Yeah, he's a disruptor himself. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
Elon, if you're listening, you can hop on the podcast.
That's your next guest right there.
Exactly. Well, this has been terrific. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you taking the time to explain your insights to us. I'm really looking forward to kind of the next few iterations and phases of it, and seeing how you launch off as you partner with more and more brokerages and realtors and mortgage companies and investor type companies. I think it's going to be super cool.
Awesome. No, thanks so much for having me, Amy.
Thank you so much for joining the conversation and exploring both current and predicted future real estate trends. Want to keep the conversation going? You can find us, Future RE, on both Instagram and TikTok.